Hi everyone, welcome back to First Things First with Asante First Avenue. I'm Jason, today I'm joined by Darren, and today we're talking about some common questions that we get from clients. Darren, we work with a lot of business families, and one of the questions that comes up is, what are some of the biggest mistake that families make when they're thinking of transitioning a business?
Yeah, that is a common question. Thanks, Jason. If I had to identify the most common mistake, I would say that families or business owners tend to treat it as an event rather than as a process.
Okay, so maybe expand on that a little bit, because you can think of it as, well, it is a transaction, but maybe it's not.
Well, I think that's fair. It is a transaction, but to do it right, to have a good outcome, and we often talk about making smart decisions about your money. So if you want to make a smart decision about the sale of your business, whether it's outside transaction or to an internal succession, it is a process and it takes time. There's a lot of things that need to be done to do it right.
Can you touch on a few of those things that you're talking about that are involved in this process?
Yeah, I think two things automatically come to mind. First and foremost is just like information and preparation. The kinds of information that you need to gather are really important. So simple things like financial statements, that's really straightforward. But what about competitive interests? What about industry? What about what your ultimate goal is that you want to get out of the transaction? Is it the most amount of money? Is it keeping all of the participants happy? There's a consideration around that, as a consideration around stakeholders.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so there's a lot of information that needs to be gathered for this process. What about people involved? Like, if I'm thinking of this, who would I want to involve in this process?
Yeah, that's great. So that's the idea of stakeholders, right? Is who should we be talking to? And I think as an owner, if as a family business owner, first and foremost, shareholders need to be having conversations well in advance. Family members. Which family members need to be involved in the conversation? Mm-hmm. Second to that, professional advisors. Your table should absolutely have your accountant, your lawyer, probably your financial advisor. If you've got a strong financial advisory team, all three of those participants should participate at times or all the way through the process. And I know it's uncomfortable because a lot of family businesses in general, tend to be really private and tend to be reluctant to share information. But this is a big deal. This is probably the biggest transaction of their lives. Involving your professional advisors is really important, maybe even key employees.
Okay, interesting. You made the comment that it's possibly the biggest transaction of your life. And from everything you just said, there's a lot of people involved, a lot of information involved. So it sounds like the key message would be start early.
Start early.
Yeah, okay. Well, folks, now you've heard it. If you're considering any of this, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're here. And thanks for joining us today on First Things First at Asante First Avenue.